Chase in the Shadows, 3 terrifying stalker tales. In the quiet of the night, a young college student makes her way home, the sound of her footsteps echoing through the empty streets. Alone, with only the moon to guide her, she wraps her jacket tighter around herself, unaware that this walk home will be unlike any other. From the shadows, a figure emerges, maintaining a discreet distance. Initially dismissed as a trick of the light or a passerby, the figure's persistent presence soon becomes undeniable. With each turn she takes, an unnerving feeling grows. She is being followed. The streets she once knew so well now feel foreign and menacing. Paranoia takes hold as the figure seems to materialize at every corner, always just out of clear sight. The student's heart races, her steps quicken, but the sensation of being watched never wanes. The once familiar route home now twists into a labyrinth of fear and suspicion. Summoning her courage, she stops and turns, determined to confront her pursuer. But as she does, the figure vanishes into the night, leaving no trace. Confusion washes over her. Was the figure a figment of her imagination, spurred by the night and her fears? She shakes her head, trying to dispel the paranoia. Relieved, yet still uneasy, she arrives home, convincing herself that the night's events were nothing more than her mind playing tricks. The comfort of her room, a stark contrast to the night's shadows, welcomes her. Yet this sense of security is short-lived, as an unexpected tapping at her window shatters the calm. The unsettling feeling deepened when her phone buzzed with messages from an unknown number. Each text detailed her actions with chilling accuracy, from her fearful glances over her shoulder to her attempt to dismiss the fear. Panic took hold as the realization dawned on her that someone was watching, someone who knew her every move. In desperation, she dialed her friend's number, her voice trembling as she begged for company. The wait for her friend's arrival was agonizing, filled with jumps at every shadow. But nothing could have prepared her for the horror of finding the stalker already inside her home, a menacing figure emerging from the darkness. A frantic chase ensued, her heart racing as she dodged from room to room, seeking an escape. The stalker was relentless, always just a step behind, thriving on her terror. By sheer luck, she managed to slip out, her breath ragged as she ran into the night, the stalker disappearing as suddenly as he had appeared, leaving her in a state of shock and fear. Our next tale takes us to the dim corridors of an old, isolated office building. A young man works late into the night, his only company the flickering lights and the hum of his computer. Despite the solitude, there's an unnerving feeling that he's not alone, a shadow lurking just beyond the reach of the light. His concentration breaks when he spots a figure watching him from outside his office window. Initially dismissing it as fatigue, the sight becomes unnervingly frequent. The silhouette, always at the edge of visibility, seems to be studying him, turning the once familiar office into a cage of paranoia. As days pass, the young man notices subtle disturbances. Personal items moved from their usual places, documents slightly askew, and the persistent feeling of being observed. These disruptions transform his workspace into a stage for an unseen observer, increasing his unease and sense of vulnerability. Driven by a mix of fear and determination, he decides to confront the mystery. His search leads him to a series of disturbing notes scattered throughout the building, each more ominous than the last. The notes, like breadcrumbs, guide him through the dimly lit halls and towards an unknown destination. The trail ends at the building's basement, a place he seldom ventured. As he descends, the air grows colder, and the oppressive silence is broken only by his footsteps. But soon, another set of footsteps echoes his own, a sound that is unmistakably human yet eerily out of place in the deserted building. In the dim basement light, the young man caught fleeting glimpses of the stalker. Shadows danced around the corners of his eyes, but whenever he turned, there was nothing but the emptiness and the echo of his own footsteps. The air felt colder with every step, heightening his sense of dread. Deciding to escape, he sprinted through the labyrinthine basement, his heart pounding in his chest. The stalker seemed to be everywhere and nowhere, a ghostly presence always just out of sight. The young man's breaths came in ragged gasps as panic set in, the exit seemingly further with every step. Upon finally reaching his office, he slammed the door shut, locking it with trembling hands. The illusion of safety within those four walls was a stark contrast to the fear that gripped him. He dialed the police, narrating his ordeal through quick, broken sentences, hoping for a swift resolution. When the police arrived, they scoured the building but found no evidence of any intruder. Their skeptical looks and reassurances did little to ease the young man's anxiety. They suggested it might have been a product of working too late, leaving him alone with his unresolved fear. Haunted by the night's events, the young man made the difficult decision to leave his job. The thought of returning to the building, potentially facing his stalker again, was unbearable. He left not only his job, but also the oppressive weight of fear and paranoia that had settled over him. Our final tale this evening introduces us to a group of friends, driven by curiosity and rumors of the supernatural, decided to explore an abandoned hospital said to be haunted. Their adventure began with laughter and excitement, unaware of the eerie turn their night was about to take. As they ventured deeper into the dilapidated corridors, a sense of unease began to settle. It wasn't long before they noticed a mysterious figure trailing behind them. Attempts to catch a glimpse or confront it were in vain. It vanished every time, leaving a chilling presence in its wake. The atmosphere thickened with dread when they tried to leave, only to find their exit mysteriously blocked. The realization that they were trapped within the walls of the forsaken hospital sent waves of panic through the group. In a desperate bid for freedom, they decided to split up, hoping to find another way out. This decision only heightened their vulnerability, isolating them in the sprawling maze of decay and shadows. One by one, the friends encountered the Stalker, a silent predator that seemed to know their deepest fears. Each encounter left them more terrified than the last, driving home the reality of their dire situation. As they ventured deeper into the haunting silence of the abandoned hospital, the group of friends felt an eerie presence. One by one, they faced encounters with the mysterious Stalker, a shadow that seemed to feed on their deepest fears. The isolation heightened their terror, as each encounter felt intensely personal, yet inexplicably linked to the others. In a desperate bid for safety, the remaining friends regrouped, their resolve hardened by the harrowing experiences. Understanding that unity was their only weapon against the pervasive dread, they decided to confront the Stalker together. This collective courage marked a turning point, transforming their fear into a force of defiance. The climactic confrontation revealed an unexpected twist: the Stalker's identity. This revelation shattered their preconceived notions, forcing them to confront not just the physical presence of their pursuer, but the psychological underpinnings of their fear. The unmasking was a cathartic moment, offering not just answers, but a semblance of closure. Armed with the truth and a newfound resilience, they navigated the labyrinth of the hospital to find an escape. The journey back to the safety of the familiar world was fraught with reflections on their ordeal. Yet it was this very experience that cemented their bond, a shared ordeal that would forever intertwine their lives. The aftermath left them with an unshakable sense of paranoia, a constant reminder of their vulnerability. However, it also imbued them with a profound understanding of the strength found in unity and the importance of confronting one's fears. This paradoxical legacy of their adventure, a blend of fear and fortitude, would shape their approach to life's uncertainties. The psychological aftermath of being stalked can leave deep scars, affecting one's sense of security and daily life. Victims often experience heightened anxiety, trouble sleeping, and a pervasive fear that they are being watched. This constant state of alertness can severely impact their mental health and relationships. Staying safe in potentially dangerous situations involves more than just being aware of one's surroundings. It's about trusting your instincts and taking proactive steps to protect yourself, such as sharing your location with trusted friends or family, and avoiding routines that could make you an easy target for stalkers. We hope you stay safe out there. We thank you for taking the time to watch our horror tales this evening. If you have enjoyed this story and would like to see more, visit our channel, like this video, and subscribe for more horror stories.